Yes, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. We should have some better sound quality today now that I'm using my microphone properly. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about the biggest reason why most people stay looking soft, even though they're hitting the gym consistently. They're training to the right level, and I say all right because there's always things that can be improved, and they're eating pretty well most of the time. Now, the reason they stay looking soft, despite doing all those things, is because they go into a bulking or gaining phase, whatever you want to call it, way too early. So in this video, I'm going to break down what you should be doing instead. But first, if you're new here, wondering who I am, I'm an online fitness coach who's made literally all the mistakes you could possibly think of when it comes to trying to transform your physique. And now I help men and women get into banging shape like this. And on this channel, I share all the mistakes I made, but also the solutions, so you don't spend 15 years making the same mistakes that I did. But anyway, getting into it. The problem, starting the bulk too early. Now, most people get to a place or they start off from a place where they look soft, but if they look in the mirror and they flex, they'll see their biceps starting to pop a little bit, see a little bit of tricep definition coming through, maybe even see some shape around their delts. So they think the answer to seeing more definition, looking more muscular, is to build muscle, which in of itself is true. So they start a gaining phase, eating more food, they add the protein shake to their mid-morning snack, and they start training harder, usually in the form of adding more sets, more reps, longer sessions, all that jazz. But even that last point itself, I could make a whole video on that, but I'm not going to get into that here and now. But when they do those things, they start getting stronger, and when they look in the mirror to see their progress, usually post-workout when they've got a little bit of a pump on, they'll check the mirror, see the biceps are popping even more, see more tricep definition, and then see even more lines in their delts. And it looks like what they're doing is working because the muscles are looking fuller, they're looking bigger, so they think they're on the right track. But then they get further down the line and notice that when they're relaxing, they still look a little bit soft. Add on to that, they've now got a little bit more of a gut and aren't looking the way that they want to. So then it poses the question, should I continue building more muscle and hope that the muscle grows faster than I'm gaining fat and then eventually I see the muscle definition? Or do I start a cut? But here's the problem. In a gaining phase, it's normal for you to gain extra bits of body fat. It's part of the process. And you add more body fat on top of that, it fucks with your head because then you think, is what I'm doing a waste? Am I just spinning my wheels here? Am I actually getting anywhere? You're just a little bit lost in terms of what's going on and what step you need to be taken next. And that is the very mistake I made. That's when I started here. First picture that I'm putting up. And like I said earlier, I flexed, I could see some muscle definition. So I thought, right, I'm primed to go into a bulk. But from doing that, this is where I ended up. Still looking soft, bigger, softer, carrying way more body fat than I wanted to, and definitely not looking the way that I wanted to either. So I was a little bit at a crossroads and a little bit stuck with what I should be doing. And to be fair, as someone that grew up as a skinny kid, getting to this place was very uncomfortable, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't enjoy it and it fucked with my head. Now, if you want to go into a gaining phase and want to spend enough time there that you can actually put on a meaningful amount of muscle mass that you can actually see, look in the mirror and feel proud of the work you've been putting in, the very best thing you can do is the reverse of going into a gaining phase, which for you might sound counterproductive because you might not be someone that resonates with, oh, I need to lose some weight, I want to lose a little bit of fat. Like, you're only thinking, I want the gains, I want to look low-key jacked, I want to build muscle. So going into a phase of fat loss doesn't feel like it's the right path to be taken. But that is exactly what you need to do, and it's the very first thing that I do with probably 90% of my clients when they first start working with me inside my program Built for More. I get them lean first, because when I get them lean first, it means we can see what muscle mass that we've got and it shows us what we're working with, and that in of itself is super motivating. And as a side note, if you want to work with me one-to-one where I map this all out for you so there's no guesswork during the process, I'll leave a little link in the description below. Just book a call in, answer a couple of questions, and we'll have a chat and see if this is right for you. But by getting lean first, you're gonna see enjoyable physical progress and desirable change to your physique. In fact, for most people, going through that phase first, you're probably going to be in the best shape you've ever been in if you've been lifting for at least a couple of years and training to at least a half decent standard. And when you're seeing that physical progress at the start of the journey with your physique changing almost weekly during that phase, you're gonna start off on the right foot, you're gonna feel super committed and you're gonna feel excited for what's to come next. Because if we look at the reverse, as we said earlier, when you go straight into that gaining phase and you're not really seeing more muscle definition come through, any more shape, you're just getting fatter throughout the process, which within a couple of months, you're going to be demotivated because you look even worse and ultimately end up feeling worse about yourself and want to bin off the process. But the sickest thing about getting lean first is that when you do it properly, at the end of that phase, your body is going to be like a blank canvas. Your body is going to be ripe for a muscle building phase. And when we start adding food gradually, your body's going to be ready to receive it. We're going to have the fuel to push your performance in the gym. We start seeing strength going up, but also because you're starting off from that lean position, like I said earlier, you're going to be building muscle, but you're actually actually be able to see it as well, which in of itself is also motivating on the other side of the coin. And it's completely different from bulking when you've still got body fat to lose and you're kind of scratching your head thinking, oh, I think I'm maybe building some muscle mass here. Like, as I said, you can see it and you're gonna wanna be in that phase for even longer until we get to a place where you can't push it anymore. Then it's time to go into your reveal phase and see what muscle mass you've built. And by the end of your building phase, which, you know, it's not gonna be like fat loss where it's, you know, you transformed your body within 8, 12, 16 weeks. We're looking at 6, 10, maybe even 12 months for some people, or spending time in that phase, adding muscle tissue before going to the reveal and seeing what you've built. It's the phase that I'm going through right now. So over the next year, as I'm dropping out these videos, I'll be sprinkling in little bits of my progress so you can see how I'm getting on with things. But anyway, the message is simple. If you look in the mirror and you think to yourself, yeah, I've maybe got a little bit of body fat to lose, get lean first. You don't need to get shredded. We just want to get you to a place of where you're a little bit more comfortable around your stomach area. There's no, you know, fat hanging over your jeans or your trousers, your dress or whatever. You can maybe see a little bit of a vein coming through in your bicep, maybe see a little bit of a cut in your shoulders. That's kind of the level we want to get to, where you feel comfortable. Then you're going to be primed and ready to go. So yeah, that's me for today. If you found this video useful, make sure you drop me a subscribe and all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.